the tubes in case we don't have time for the tubes. 2.0 summary graphic from the Discord. Well, this isn't helpful. This is one that, like, the developers don't really post anything on this Reddit, so ready. Capture the flag, don't care. Capture flag apparently is really bad. But at least they added a game mode, so. Conquest is nice, but it's overplayed. I disagree. Conquest is classic. Good. Community servers, don't care. This is big for casters, but most people are never, ever, ever going to touch this shit, ever. So this doesn't really matter. Yeah. Like, maybe there's going to be a sniper-only server, and it'll be like a meme fest. New game mode and implementations, revisiting existing game modes. Capture flag. Reworking and introducing new maps. Yeah, multi-isle sucks. Not fun to play. Which rivals? Oh, this is third. Like when stuff's not dated. Like I can hover here and see, oh, it's August 3rd. Like here, that's July. Covered most of this already. Don't care. This is just for generating publicity. Most people aren't going to participate. There aren't enough streamers either. August 6th, so that was yesterday. A lot of the classes, we've talked about this before, a lot of classes, a lot of the weapons need to be rebalanced. Gun differentiation is very, very important. That means each gun has, each gun class has a specific role it fulfills, and they don't overlap, generally do not overlap into other gun categories. So an SMG really good in CQB to maybe short to medium or medium range. Assault rifle good across multiple ranges, but it's not really good at everything. Like it's not good even at medium range. Jack of all trades, ace of none. And you go, oh, that's not the quote. I don't fucking give a shit. Anyways, Jack of all trades, ace of none. There's trade-offs. So if you got a gun that's a good all-rounder, it shouldn't be really, really good in CQB, it shouldn't be really, really good at long range, and it shouldn't be really, really good at medium range. It just kind of does everything decently well. So there's actually categories left over for other weapons. DMRs don't really have a category at all because that medium to medium long range, assault rifles are just superior in. SMGs are superior in right now, too. So, DMR basically pointless. And sniper rifles, being long-range weapon, I have nothing against the damage they deal. Rather, the ease of how easy it is to hit the shot is off right now. So, in the case of snipers, they need to be nerfed in terms of velocity. So, you actually have to lead a target. If they're standing still, it's not going to affect you much. But if they're moving, you're going to have to lead a target. It takes more skill, takes more effort because of what their projectiles in the first place. And it makes it more nuanced as far as using the weapon, more skill-based. And DMR could be medium to long range-ish, but obviously still not going to be as good as a sniper at like popping people. So yeah, like you can differentiate it, and then you have shotguns too, which they don't include because apparently the community hates shotguns. And probably PTSD from playing other video games like COD and Battlefield and dying to them. So yeah, obviously they don't like shotguns, which shotguns would be close to short range weapon, and further than that they don't really work very well. And the thing is, in this game, just like many games, it's catered to the laser rifle crowd. The fucking ADD fucks all want to have a gun be a laser rifle. That's not good game balance. It's a great weapon because it does everything well. You know, it's just like COD. You just have an assault rifle or any gun. It's just a stat stick, and it basically is just a stream of bullets that is insanely accurate and easy to use because that's what they want. They never want to miss because they're using the wrong weapon at the wrong time and picking their engagements wrong. They just always want to be in the best possible position without actually thinking it out. Laser rifles, which probably started around the time, I mean, COD's been doing it for a long time, but Fortnite also did it, where basically all the weapons just became laser rifles, is not really interesting in my personal opinion. It actually ruins games. It ruins the aspect that you're picking out a weapon that feels unique and different because they are unique and different. But anyways, they're tackling SMG balance, specifically the Vector, and as I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure this game has stealth nerfs and buffs in the game, meaning that they've been doing this probably for 2 weeks at this point. It feels like the Vector got nerfed 2 weeks ago, and they've been tweaking it ever since. It's not nearly as good as it used to be. The same thing with MP5. The Val got shit on, and then it got better, and then it got shit on again. Off and on, these are just guns that I'm using, so I can tell that they're happening. It could have also happened to other weapons I don't know. But they've all been changing. Right now, in my personal opinion, the MP7 is probably the best SMG in the game, and possibly the UMP. Not the Vector. And I've used them. And P90 I can't gauge on because it takes forever to get to 125, and I think we're going to do it tonight, but it takes fucking forever, so... yeah, we covered these already. I think it was on the Discord. So the Chris was nerfed, and really, honestly, SMG should have a damage fall off, and actually maybe two, but damage fall off should definitely be a thing where they just aren't effective beyond a certain range. They'll maybe do a tiny bit of damage, but they aren't something you can depend on, and you have a nice curve. This game in general has damage fall off numbers, but they are just almost arbitrary, and they don't feel like they're thought out at all, which could just be they're trying to get the game launched, and they don't have time to balance everything perfectly. It's good that they have damage fall off curves already, but it's not in a place where it actually feels like they're doing meaningful things right now. And SMGs, you can do that with every weapon. They kind of have that already with like a sniper where you can't use it for close range shots, for instance. Let's take a look and recap this. Yeah, they changed the rank up time. So we'll be able to use Ranger Armors. So we'll be able to use PDWs, what the game qualifies as PDWs and DMRs. They aren't. Damage fall off adjusted 22 to 24. Drop off starts at 10 meters instead of 50, which is weird because it's only one gun. It's only one of the SMGs. Step in the right direction. Quick mags, they changed ammo count. I don't think what really matters here is the damage drop-off. So this means it's actually going to be even better at close range. Up to 10 meters, which is... It depends. You could say 10 meters, and that's like 30 feet, but in-game, that's not always correlative with actual, like, what it would be a measurement of feet if you include the average height of a male. An average height of a male, like, which is 5'7". I think it's 5'7" in the U.S., and then you could compare it to a person, then you could change, like, you can tip them sideways and see how many it would take to actually move the right distance. Distance measurements in a game are sometimes extremely arbitrary, and they don't actually relate to your perspective of how far damage moves, or not damage, distance moves in real life. We'll have to wait and see how much of a nerf this is. Medic will have 3 C4 instead of 4. I swear I have 5 right now. Maybe it's a backpack. They buffed the ACR. I heard it's pretty good. Someone on the channel yesterday was talking about that. ACR control reduced from 100% to 105, so lower control's better? I thought it was the opposite. Okay. So this possibly indicates that the control specification is actually lower is better than high, or is worse. AK-5C. I don't think I've used that yet. Made it more like a DMR, or if it's not already a DMR. Muzzle flash size reduced. ABC takes 2 times damage back now. Better improves. Aim punch flinch will change. It's now going to be based on damage, which makes a lot of sense. I thought it was based on a random stat on weapons, which is each weapon has a % chance to aim punch and has an aim punch resistance. So depending on the weapon you have, it'll have a higher resistance or lower resistance to aim punch. And then there's also a stat with the weapon itself on how often it aim punches. But apparently it is related to limb shots in the game. Game will no longer auto-lock squads when a party member reserves a squad for their party to join. Instead, a non-party member will be forced to change squad with their role. Yeah, that's good. This explains why a lot of squads just become auto-locked, because they do and then they don't unlock them. Map balance. Yeah, they made it so bandages give you plus 40 HP per bandage. I said that this is something I've talked about for a long time. It's one of the reasons that people won't use other classes, because you wanna engage in more than one fight, and you can't just be fucked after one fight. I said that you should just be able to heal to full health with a bandage, and just not using the bandage. Heal to full health, and it takes 50% longer, 50% speed, twice as long, 50% speed, which I think would be enough of a nerf for people to actually just be used medic for the medic capabilities, but also wouldn't completely fuck you. I still understand armor in the game. I don't know if armor regenerates when you heal yourself or if armor's a % base, but it also looks like armor can wear down, so I don't actually know how armor works in the game. And it kind of feels like they've changed armor a couple different times throughout the game. Can't heal other players by bandaging. CTF. Minigun buff to Little Bird. 2 to 4. Very meaningful. Not that I've used it, but that's doubling. Burn enemy vehicles gives different experience. Destroying enemy C4 claymores will give hit marker and additional XP. You don't fucking say! After they've nerfed the claymore meta? Yeah. Hey look, now they give XP. Yeah, the reason, like, I won't touch them at all. Generally won't touch them at all. Engineers receive double XP. We saw that already. When a player shoots at a mine C4 claymore, the shooter will take ownership for the explosion. Good. That's something that's been in other games for a while. So you'll get benefit of blowing up someone's mine if it kills an enemy. Actually, maybe it already does that. Yeah, no, it didn't do that. So this is specifically to help with people killing basically their friends with the explosion. Interaction detection improved and I'll be radio. That's good because if you actually need to click on You have to click on objectives. It's very difficult sometimes. I believe it pertains to that too. Barbed wire engine for engineer. That sounds fun. Not really, but it's a thing. Cult has their own ranger armor instead of reusing medic armor now. Vlaskis? I believe that's one of the developers. Not sure. In this map? Yeah, it must be one of the developers talking through the bot. Domination 256 layout downscaled. Okay. Announcements, let's go back here. Updates. Aim punch flinch will exponentially scale down based on damage received. Instead of pistol on leg and sniper on chest, giving the same aim punch flinch. Okay. Once again, I'm pretty sure that it was based on a stat on the weapons, with some weapons giving a higher chance to aim punch and have some weapons having higher or lower resistances. No. So they changed progression, so now it's easier to level up. These are completely reworked from ground up. Voxel 24/7. I don't know what voxel is. Voxels are like little pixels, or another name for like tiny Minecraft blocks that can make up a game world or can be destroyed. Be interesting. The game's already made up of them. Okay. And then a little infographic. All right. Interesting. So the biggest one, obviously, that people are going to be interested in will be balancing changes to the SMGs. But as we talked about earlier, all the guns need to be rebalanced and kind of stay in their lane, so to speak. A lot of games do not practice good gun differentiation. I think it's a hallmark of any good game in order to have usable weapon categories that people will garner, go to, or prefer. And if they don't, if there's no reason to use a DMR, no one's going to fucking use a DMR. That's just the way it is. And an LMG has problems because right now in most games, all it is a stat stick with a giant clip on it, a giant magazine. So, yeah, a lot of people don't use it. As I mentioned before with Battlefield 3 with the suppression system, Battlefield 4 also had a suppression system. People didn't like it because it actually kind of did its job, which is it fucks up your screen when you get shot at by it. And that's what differentiated in Battlefield compared to another gun, because it actually made sense. And pistols not just being another semi-automatic SMG or sniper rifle or whatever, which also doesn't make sense. In Battlefield, for instance, they balanced the pistols by making it so you could pull out a pistol really fucking fast. So even though it's not better than a gun, it's not better than a normal gun, if you're out of ammo, you can immediately pull it out. And that's kind of in this game already. You can immediately pull it out because it's usually faster to pull out your pistol than it is to remag. So, or just reload your gun. So you generally will just pull out your pistol. And that's another way to balance, a mechanical way of balancing a weapon, because it actually makes sense to pull it out as it does in real life. Realism is not necessarily a great balancing mechanic, but there's a lot of things that exist in real life, and they do because they matter, right? The sidearms exist because it's a way of, your main weapon's out of ammo, you pull out your sidearm. That's just the way it goes. It's a secondary weapon. It's not supposed to be another primary. But in the case of Counter-Strike, COD, that just turned into another main weapon, it doesn't really change anything. The whole idea of what it was supposed to be was just lost into the nether. Okay. See what's going on in the comments here. API for custom servers. Jesus, AAA games don't even have that. That's because it doesn't matter. Because most this is instead of actually setting up a menu. An API is easier to set up than a menu is. Yeah, because this is going to get used by only a handful of people, handful of streamers, and that's it. Because AAA game companies are afraid gamers would create a better game? No. No, it's just, there's no market. It's a waste of time. But if the people want to use it, go ahead. It's not like this is the first game that's had custom game modes. It's not like this is the first game that's had a custom game mode. And they've existed, and one of the reasons they aren't added is because it's not a used feature by the community for the most part. It's used by streamers who are probably banging a drum right now about, oh my god, we're going to do fucking sub games and stuff like that. You know, this is going to be fucking amazing. Yeah, because they're streamers, and that's what they're supposed to do. It doesn't pertain to like 99% of the player base, 99.9% of the player base. I mean, Wine Paradise is coming to 127 versus 127. I saw that, but I didn't know if that was correct. Yeah, so this is a new map in 127 versus 127, which is what we play all the time. Fix the issue with bandages falling through certain types of terrain. I think it's all things you put on the ground. I've had medkits fall through. Feeling his blessing and saved me so many times. Yep. Vector didn't need a nerf. It needed a nerf, but all SMGs need a nerf. Leave that in my video instead. I'm not gonna make a reply there. Gun categories. Gun differentiation, very important. Class differentiation, very important. No reason to have multiple classes if they don't do anything better or worse than each other. Attachments on weapons now affect movement speed. It was a bug that it didn't affect it before. Holy shit. I didn't know that was a bug. As I mentioned before, I'm pretty sure like the stats are just off though. Like the vector, for instance, you run as fast as the vector prior to the patch. This is why I said there's stealth nerfs and buffs in the game. It's pretty much confirmed because when I was running next to someone with a vector, even though I had movement armor on, and I was running an MP5, which runs faster than the vector, with the small clip on, I was moving at the same speed as the vector, and the MP5 just moves faster than the vector to begin with. And it could be that the stat wasn't down there properly, but even without the magazine stat on it, I'm still moving faster. I think it's 0.01 faster than the vector, and then I have the movement armor too, in case the other guy did have the movement armor on. One bipod fixed SMG or assault rifle or LMG, excuse me. It's one of the few things that actually, like, one of the few reasons you'd actually use an LMG, so you can deploy and actually be super accurate. Voxel mode is so much fun. My guess is it's destroyable everything. Voxels have been around for a while. There aren't a lot of games that have really done it well. It's just been a technology that's been out for a while. Okay.